Rev up your engines!
Chris Mill says, Scotty, why do these clowns with diesels with over 120,000 miles want so much for their trucks? The rest of the truck is a regular truck. Well, because everybody wants a diesel that can pull a lot of weight and still get decent gas mileage. You know, if you're pulling stuff with a gasoline engine, you're going to get horrible gas mileage. But a diesel, doesn't even care if it's pulling itself or pulling a bunch of weight, it's still going to get about the same gas mileage. And that's the reason they sell them for so much money. It's just the way the market is, and it has nothing you can do about that. If you want one, you're going to have to pay more money because that's just how the market is these days. Ellie says, Scotty, I got a 66 Rambler Classic. Any tips on bleeding the brakes? Yeah, it's an old car. It's simple. All you want to do is get another person, have them pump the brakes, then bleed the right rear tire. Do it 4 or 5 times. Then bleed the left rear tire. Do it 4 or 5 times. Then bleed the right front tire. Do it 4 or 5 times. Then bleed the other tire in the front 4 or 5 times. That should do it. Now, if you can't get the air out of that way, then you got a bad master cylinder or something that's sucking air in. Those old cars are real easy to bleed brake because it doesn't have anti-lock brakes. All the modern cars with anti-lock brakes, you have to have a fancy computer like I have in order to actuate the solenoids and bleed the air out. But on that old thing, it's so simple. Just do it one wheel at a time, like I said, and you won't have any problems. Kay Zaradikov says, Yo, Scotty, I have 97 Celica 1.8, 116 horsepower manual, around 300,000 kilometers. I think it burns some oil. The 7AF engine's prone to burning oil. Can it be the PCV valve? Okay. Change the PCV valve. And after that, there's nothing you can do. The engine's be worn. You got a lot of mileage, 300,000 kilometers. If I were you, I'd switch to Castrol and use like their 2050 oil and see what happens. It won't hurt an old engine like that. And a lot of times it'll burn less oil because it's better engine oil. Try that. They're good engines. They're very good engines, but you got a lot of mileage, so it's going to probably burn a little bit of oil. But you put in the heavier weight castor oil and change the PC valve and see, maybe it'll burn a lot less that way. I often do that when I work on people's cars like that. Gavin Vicker says, my girlfriend's 2000 Yaris has a hissing sound from the brakes as you come to a stop. I changed the brake booster, master cylinder, vacuum lines, but it still hisses. Okay, did you change the check valve on the booster? If you got a bad check valve on the booster, it will hiss. And, you know, that should fix it. Now, you said you changed the booster, but did you use a brand new one or a rebuilt one? Because if you use the rebuilt one, the rebuilt ones are often absolute junk, and they'll still hiss. So it could just be that you used a rebuilt one, and you shouldn't have used a rebuilt one. You should have used a brand new one. I see that all the time. And, of course, check the lines going to the booster to make sure that there's no loose. You know, they just fit on. You might want to put a little radiator screw clamp where they go on instead of that cheap clamp that they come with. Dylan Sand says, my dad has a 49 Studebaker, blows the 50 amp fuses and dies right in the tracks when you turn the wipers. You know what's wrong with it? Well, it's got something wrong in the wiper system, you know? If it only does it when you turn the wipers on, either the fuse that turns the wiper on, or the wiring go to the wiper, or the wiper motor is shorted to dead. So you got to start testing all that stuff. The easiest thing is first unplug the connector to the wipers. Then, if you turn it on and it doesn't blow it, you know it's the wiper motor. If it still blows it, then you know it's the fuse or the wiring going to the wiper. You check it section at a time. Anytime you have electrical problems, you want to check it one section to the other. That's just how that stuff works. Simple. Always simplify stuff, especially electrical work when you're working on it. Ed Colt 54 says, thoughts on cars going to these push starting buttons. I hate them. I hate them too because I have to fix them. And it's such a pain. I have the computers that can fix them. But it's still a pain in the butt when it says, well, I got to go to the dealer and buy the special computer module and reprogram them. And then somebody, get a new key for your car. It used to cost you $1.50 at the hardware store. I had a customer that lost their key. That was one of those keyless systems on a Toyota Prius, and it cost them like $1,200 at the Toyota dealer. So I hate them too.
So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.